Hello everybody, and welcome back to NorCal Slot Car Scene. For the past month or so, I've been really busy with other things, but now it's time to get ready for the Slotit USA Nationals at Electric Dreams. The first thing I have to do is decide on which car to run from the multitude of Group C cars that Slotit produces. One of the choices is the Porsche 956-962 series. This is the car that I used with my teammate Bob Hooley to win the 2021 Christmas Enduro at Electric Dreams. This car has the shortest guide lead and is extremely nimble, especially on small tracks. However, we discovered at the 2022 Nationals that the Jaguar XJR10, with its extremely wide track and long guide lead, performed better and was much easier to drive really fast. However, for 2023, the XJR10 has been given significant performance disadvantages. First, you have to run the side skirts, which limits the track that you can run, as well as the width of the tires. So most people think that this car is not going to be competitive this year. The consensus of opinion seems to think that the Nissan variations are going to be the fastest cars this year and the ones to beat. The Nissans have the longest guide lead other than the XJR10, and they're also the lightest Group C cars that Slotit produces. In my search for that silver bullet, I decided to take a look at the Jaguar XJR12. The XJR12 is just as wide as the XJR10, but doesn't require you to use the side skirts. When you compare it to the Nissan, the XJR12 is noticeably wider, about 3 millimeters, but the guide lead is just a little bit shorter. So I'm going to give that a try and see how it goes for the Nationals. The XJR12 that I purchased was a white kit, and I threw some interesting paint on it. It's sort of British racing green, but it's actually, to me, a candy lime green, which I think looks really good. The first thing you should do when you start a build of any car is check the rules. And the rules for the 2023 Nationals are very comprehensive and a bit different than last year. There are quite a few modifications and additions you can do to the Group C car, and when looking at the rules, there are 6 major items that you can change out from stock. For 2023, the Nationals allow you to add ballast and change out the rear wheels, tires, axles, guide, and the crown gear. The Group C cars are relatively lightweight, and since you are not allowed to add lead, the only ballast you can add are the 2 tungsten bars you see here that replace the magnets. Most racers will run one in front of the motor and one behind the motor to add about 5 grams of ballast to the car. Almost everyone that races at Electric Dreams uses the air wheels in place of the stock non-air wheels. As you can see from the part number, these wheels are 15.8 millimeters in diameter and 10.2 millimeters in width. There's no one right answer for tire selection at Electric Dreams, but the go-to tire seems to be NSR Ultra Grips. The most common NSR sizes that fit on these wheels are 5207, 5211, and 5213. To achieve more lightness, I've added hollow axles. The Slotit 51 millimeter hollow axles fit perfectly. Since we're running on a wood track, we've added the Slotit wood guide. It's not only deeper, but it allows you to attach the guide with a screw, so the mounting is much more precise. The final major modification is the rear crown gear. First of all, we're running a 23 tooth gear because the track at Electric Dreams is very long compared to most home tracks. We use the modular gears because they reduce friction and create a slightly better gear mesh. If you decide to use the modular gear, keep in mind that you must purchase the collar separately to go with the gear. At last year's race, we found that the modular gears came with 3 side washers, and we found that 4 actually made for a better mesh. And we mentioned that to Maurizio at the race, and now they come with 4 in the package. Thanks, Maurizio. There are a few other miscellaneous items that are required for the race at Electric Dreams. First, because it's a spec handout motor, they come with the wiring harness that Slotit uses on all their newer cars. If you have one of the older cars, you're going to have to install this wiring harness. On the XJR12, when I installed the guide and the supplied screw, the screw was hitting because the nose of the car is extremely low. I changed out the stock guide screw with a much lower profile scale auto screw. Once I had the guide installed properly, I changed out the stock braid for Slotit's soft braid. The soft braid definitely helps the car in handling. The last thing I did was use two Slotting Plus motor screws to attach the motor to the motor pod. So that's a look at all the parts and pieces you need to put a car together for the 2023 Slotit Nationals. These pieces will work on any of the Slotit Group C cars. Thank you all for watching NorCal Slot Car Scene, and I hope to see you at the 2023 Slotit Nationals at Electric Dreams in El Segundo.